Okay, welcome to this Buddhism GCE Edexcel paper 4 section that is a look at the anthology work that you must do in the B part question. You must look at a passage, you must clarify the argument, the viewpoint of the passage, you must bring your synoptic skills to bear to draw in from other aspects of the course, other aspects of Buddhism, to comment, to clarify, keyword clarify, what the passage is saying, and then perhaps to assess it just a little bit. So let's take one verse at a time from Karen Armstrong's chapter 3 on enlightenment from Buddhism. Instinctively, the boy composed himself and sat in the asana position with straight back and crossed legs. Instinctively, well, Armstrong is being very sympathetic here to Buddhism. In the asana position, I've not read every text, but is this just her embellishment? How does she know it's the asana position? Is this thinking and applying backwards into what he actually did? Well, maybe not. Hatha yoga, which is what asana comes from, perhaps has its precedent long before the Buddha in the Indus Valley, used by not Buddhists but Brahmins who practiced it in private to cleanse themselves and prepare themselves to do the sacrifices. And Buddhists took it on board and said it was the main religious ritualistic practice that all Buddhists would do. So more on asana, the asana position and hatha yoga later. Look it up. Next sentence. As natural yogin, he entered into the first jhana, a trance in which the meditator feels a calm happiness, but is still able to think and reflect. So what's a yogin? A yogin, or yogai if male, and a yogini if female. So I'm not quite sure if this is male or female. I think that just means either. The word means someone who unites or who attaches. This is, in effect, attachment or unification with everything. Make me one with everything, you know? And that's the nature or the purpose of yoga. In particular, the forms of yoga include jhana yoga. Now, in Sanskrit, it's dhyana, and in Pali, jhana. And it just means meditation. There are 4 levels of meditation, or 4 jhana levels, and you can cultivate each of these 4 levels into a state of perfect equanimity and awareness. And this is this word, Sati Prishiyudal, I can't pronounce it. And so the 4 levels of, in particular, insight, is one of the different types of meditation. Insight meditation would be applied and then a sustained thought. And that leads to the level of rapture, which leads in turn to happiness or joy. But the final, most important level is the one-pointedness of mind. Okay, you can look up and research more on jhana if you want. Nobody, next sentence, had taught him the techniques of yoga, but for a few moments the child had a taste of what it might be like to leave himself behind. Again, this is, nobody had taught him the techniques of it. Well, how do we know, Armstrong? How do we know? Certainly that's the sense of the text, but got to be a bit critical here. And she's very generous in her assumptions, I guess. The historical critical assumption might want to question that just a bit. Surely even Asita, for example, the boy who fortune teller, did he never come back to the palace? What about the other fortune tellers? What about the Brahmin religion? Had the child never seen Brahmanism? I can't believe that. So Bit of a stretch here, perhaps. Next sentence. The commentary tells us that the natural world recognized the spiritual potential of the young Gautama. Whoa, which commentary? What are we talking about? Um, it could be part of the Pali Canon in the Sutta Pitaka, in the Majjhima Nikaya, or what's called the middle length collection. There's some very long sermons, and then there's the middle length sermons of the Buddha, where he recounts his first jhana. So this is another one of these legends or accounts of his meditation. I entered and remained in the first jhana, rapture and pleasure born from seclusion, accompanied by directed thought and evaluation. Could that be the path to awakening? Okay. Next sentence. As the day wore on, the shadows of the other trees moved, but not the shadow of the rose apple tree, which continued to shield the boy from the blazing sun. Here we have almost a verbatim recounting of the Sutta Pitaka Jataka tales, recorded very early, the Jataka tales in the Pali Canon. In tale 547, we have this, the Vesantra Jataka. We have the story of the recounting. The Buddha, nearing death after his long fast, remembers his rose apple tree moment. When the nurses came back, they were stunned by the miracle and fetched Suodana, who paid homage to the little boy. These last elements are certainly fictional, but it's the story of the trance, historical or not, is important in the Pali legend. Well, let's pause there. Hold on. Why is it certainly fictional? Well, okay, certainly atheists would agree that miracles are certainly fictional. Is this just Armstrong's liberal, mystical religion that doesn't believe in an interventionist God? It's fascinating that Buddhism believes in the miraculous, although doesn't emphasize it, doesn't really like to talk about the Buddha's charismatic psychic abilities, but this is just part of particularly Mahayana Buddhism. Sorry to say this, Armstrong. Certainly, Mahayana Buddhists and all, and it's there in the Palavai text, think this was a literal event. Why is it certainly fictional? You've got to give us an argument, Armstrong. Right, okay, well, the story of the trance is important as we go on in the Pali legend, and is said to have played a crucial role in Gautama's enlightenment. Certainly the text about the end of his fast, as renunciation, mention his recollection of this first act of meditation in the Jataka tale. And it was the remembrance of this, we know, that then moved him away from fasting, extreme asceticism, through to meditation. Okay, keep listening, and we'll do a video on section 3.